we learned scabbing comes at you real fast.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow. And that bullying, when it comes to not crossing a picket line, apparently it works. And now we're pro-bullying, I guess, because this week, both Drew Barrymore, who has her show Drew, and Bill Maher, who has his show I'm Not Relevant, are we? Like, whatever
Old
that
time.
show.
Old time with Bill Maher.
Old times with irrelevant boomer Bill Maher. They both reversed course after saying that they were going to start their show up. In fact, Drew Barrymore started her show up. Let's start with her. We talked about it last week. I looked into their net worth. They're all worth they're like Drew's worth 127 million. Bill Maher, 140, according to the internet.
Drew Barrymore is worth 127 million.
Bill Maher's worth more.
It's gotta be more than that. She's been working since birth.
Yeah, I know, but these child actors,
way.
They get screwed. I mean, she really is the victim. She has been the victim for no, it's true. She might have more homes than him. I don't know. But anyway, she announced that she was coming back last week. Then they started taping. They were kicking out people who had like pins that were in support of, the WGA. Writers picketed the show. And then she sent out this tearful video about how she was really sorry, but she was still going to film. And then life came at her real fast. But just so you know how cringe this was, and I don't know if you've been subjected to this video, I'm going to subject this audience to this video.
There's a huge question of the why. Why am I doing this? Well, I certainly couldn't have expected this kind of attention. We aren't going to break rules, and we will be in compliance. I wanted to do this because, as I said, this is bigger than me, and there are other people's jobs on the line. And since launching live in a pandemic, I just wanted to make a show that was there for people in sensitive times. And I weighed the scales and I thought, if we could go on during a global pandemic and everything that the world has experienced through 2020, why would this sideline us?
Oh my God. This is why they need writers. Like, you shouldn't.
Totally.
Someone should have written this. You're saying everything wrong.
No, and
this is bigger than me? Yeah, bitch. It's bigger than you.
Exactly. Precisely. A lot of people's jobs are on the line. Yeah. Keep going.
That's the point. You're almost there.
Exactly. You're so close to thinking outside of your own fucking privileged asshole. Like, you're so close to empathy, Drew, and you were able to fake it on your show so good. I feel like if she actually were at the picket line, she'd like kneel down in front of all the strikers and be like, oh my God, you guys, tell me what it's like. Wow. So you just think of stuff in your head. My God, but that was just a little slice. And it's so funny you say that, because she opens the video saying, there's no PR here. And you're like, oh, we know, because any rep would tell you, don't put this video out that's now been deleted.
It's also when you reveal that you're not a good actress, it's so funny to me, because it's like, it does feel similar, and obviously it's more serious, but equally funny in some ways, when the Imagine video came out in the beginning of COVID, when all the actors were singing, and it's like, they think they're doing something good. And you're like, we hate this. Usually someone tells you what to say and you just do that well. But when left to your own devices, you cannot act like a human being. Give me the Mexican aliens.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, if you're a millionaire and you have the privilege of your own show, just sit the fuck down, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there are a lot of A-listers who've donated to the strike fund. I think that's the move. But is like 127 million or 200 million or whatever she's actually worth, is that not enough for you? Like, what's going on here? Or you just so desperately want to be, claim what you think is rightfully yours? You're so like, and I think in her reversal, people are being very kind to her. So she did actually back down. She said, I've listened to everyone and I'm making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over. I have no words to express my deepest apologies to anyone I have hurt. And of course, to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today. We've really tried to find our way forward. And I truly hope for resolution for the entire industry very soon. That was written by a representative and by someone in
100.
PR. Very smartly. It didn't say anything like, what was it? Astute humility? Fuck does that even mean? I mean, maybe
doesn't mean anything.
Means nothing. So she's reversed course. Let's go quickly to Bill Maher, who, if you don't remember earlier, he has his own podcast called Club Random.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's really
Boomers smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. Club Random. Hi.
Might as well
Club
call it
Random.
Club Lit.
Dude, this is like, it's like a father-in-law inviting you down to his like man cave. And he has like a neon sign that says Club Random. And then he sits you down. He's like, and then he's just like, so, but what about these trans? And you're like, oh, Jesus, fuck. Yeah.
And you're like, I'm about to hear somebody racist. Here we go.
Yeah. So here he was speaking to, God, now I'm blanking on his name. You'll tell me this comic's name. But his thoughts, this was before he decided to come back, and then before he decided he wouldn't come back, his thoughts about the strike. Here's Bill Maher in Club Random.
They're asking for a lot of things.
Like kooky. Like what I find objectionable about the philosophy of the strike, it seems to be they have really morphed a long way from 2007 strike, where they kind of believe that you're owed a living as a writer, and you're not. This is show business. This is a make or miss league.
You're owed a living to make my show. Like,
I mean, that's exactly right. It's like, bro, writers work on your fucking show day in and day out. Writers are like weekend at Bernieing your own career to make you still sort of funny and relevant. Yeah. His written segments are the funniest thing he has. And there he is. He's with Jim Gaffigan also.
Gaffigan, a classic man of
who pushes. He's such a nice guy, but he's like really trying to like gingerly push back. Like, I don't know, they're not asking for that much. And it is true. Like, look, you shouldn't have to do a million jobs simultaneously to work as a writer in Hollywood just because it's fucking Hollywood. We all know that it's bullshit. And I think it is interesting that this has come after the pandemic, and that during the pandemic, to your point about Imagine, right? And how tone deaf that was, how this pandemic is not affecting us all equally. Like, it really is not the great equalizer. I think had this strike happened before the pandemic, it would have been very different. But after it, when sort of, we've had this labor uprising, and all the sort of shine has come off these celebrities in no small part, but basically on like, we seen your home, we seen where you Zoom from and shit, like, you know what I mean? And all these executives who made hand over fist money as people just stream their lives away to get through these few years. Like, it's like, I don't know, you can't say that anymore. Oh, well, you're working in Hollywood. Yeah. Also,
it's like we're sold a dream. That we're supposed to. We should be grateful just to be working, and it's like, of course we are, but it's still a job, and it's like, you're in front of the camera. Your dream is being supported by the people who are writing the dumb stuff you say.
Yeah. And very sort of, I'm very glad he decided not to come back, because if that sounded like he was going to come back, he did announce last week that he was going to come back without the writers. And so he was going to get rid of the monologue, desk piece, new rules, and written pieces that he's so proud of on Real Time. He says, but the heart of the show is an off-the-cuff panel discussion that aims to cut through the bullshit and predictable partisanship, and that will continue. You mean just like showcasing any fucking right winger or billionaire and like embarrassingly licking their boots in front of an audience? That's what his show is. So imagine Bill Maher without those scripted segments.
I almost wish it had happened, because it would have been he would have been so exposed as an idiot. He is an idiot. Like, and I've worked on, as you mentioned in my bio, I've worked on so many like award shows and things where you're telling someone giving a monologue what to say. Yeah. And I cannot tell you how much we have to contain famous people. How much you're like, I promise you they don't want to hear a joke about this stripper that you think is so funny. Like or
Right.
like classic of
No,
like,
because even award shows, like are scripted. Like you're writing them.
of course, everything they say. I mean, sometimes someone will off the cuff make something funny off of a thing that's been written, that's like laid a very beautiful, fertile bed for them to say something funny into. But like,
Sure.
yeah, and also we're keeping them from saying the stuff that will make your skin hurt. I promise you, the Zooms and the meetings that happen before the award show happened is just us going, oh, actually, no. Don't do that.
Say that. Yeah, don't do a 5-minute video where you're sort of in and out crying, Drew Barrymore, as you want us to feel bad for you. Don't, as we talked about, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, like,
wow, that one was
apologize.
Also, oh wow,
So
you're not
bad.
good at acting. You're
So
bad at acting.
I know, make it look natural. Let's try it again. Let's go again. All right,
Okay.
but I will say that Drew did back down, or sorry, Bill backed down. We talked about my decision to return to work was made when it seemed nothing was happening and there was no end in sight to the strike. Now that both sides have agreed to go back to the negotiating table, I'm going to delay the return of real time for now and hope they can finally get this done. Bullshit, utter bullshit. That's not true. Yes, they've resumed, I believe, have resumed talks. The fact that there hasn't been that much leaking going on is good because the AMPTP was leaking a lot of the initial discussions between SAG and also WGA. So, but that's such shit that he's like, no, he's not doing it because of the backlash. And it's probably his own writers were like, this is crap. And like, look, I don't know when it's going to end. I think it is very existential, and I think it is way bigger than Drew Barrymore. I think it is way bigger than Bill Maher. I think it's bigger than everybody. I think it is a really critical fight, and we're going to talk about another critical fight, but happening in the automotive industry.
I just want to add one thing, but it's so funny to be like, well, I started in what Drew Barrymore said. I started in a pandemic. And so I don't, I just want to bring people laughs through the hardship. And it's like, but the hardship is the strike. Like the
right
thing that's happening right now that's tough is that we have to hold out in order to be able to continue for Los Angeles to exist. That's the other thing. Who do these billionaires think they're going to lord over if people don't exist and can't live in the cities to overrule? Who are you overruling if we all can't have jobs? Like, yeah. At some point, you have to just like let us exist.
I mean,
lightly. I
don't know. I think don't underestimate, Aaron, powerful people's desire to reign over ashes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you would just have a kingdom of ash, and they're like, but I'm on the top floor.
Look at me.
But there's nobody working. There's nobody below you. Doesn't matter. I'm on the fucking top. I'm a corner office in just a doo-doo palace. And you're like, okay. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.